Welcome back to the action from the Clinicare Wings and Wheels event. Listen, the one thing that you're not going to get you is sunburnt. Throughout the day, Carl, it was raining, then clear for a little bit, raining, clear for a little bit. But what it did ensure is that I think the competitors are going to remember this event as one of the most challenging that they've had. You mentioned earlier having to change a couple of the obstacles. You've now got sand, you've got mud. One thing you didn't have was dust, which the fans were obviously happy about. The smaller vehicles tackling this quite easily, but really putting on a special event for the guys with tough conditions.
Yeah, you know, Marius, it's nice to see the spectators stand together and don't run away from the weather. I mean, we gave them some action and they stood behind us all day through.
Yeah.
And it's so nice to see so many people together after all those COVID things that we had.
Make sure you close your door before you go.
Yeah, that's unfortunately a disqualification there for Albertus.
Really?
Yeah, it's a safety issue, and the moment your door opens, you get disqualified.
Oh my word! Because I was going to say, I mean, that's safety. We know is crucial. Yeah, these challenges easily see you on the roof. I see the guys have got all their safety harnesses on. We see the co-drivers sitting with their arms crossed, going through the obstacles, so no arms are falling out. These are obviously things you pick up along the way. So instant disqualification there. So that's a bit of a sad point. Not going to score many points there at all. But these challenges, in terms of being able to get your head around how to tackle them, the guys are obviously now in a rhythm. They're getting through the momentum in the day. And you spoke about the fans being there. For me, I went to so many events during lockdown and during the COVID side of things, and not to have spectators, it just feels so terrible. And the nature of your sport, the fan literally is part of that experience.
Yeah, no. When you don't have spectators, you know, they cheer you on, they stand behind, and especially in the production cars, you can hear quickly which brand they like more than the others, and it's nice, you know, they live themselves into the vehicle.
Yeah, listen, in your top trucks, you're not going to hear anything from the fans, because I mean the sound, I think that's also what people buy into, because once you put foot down on those things, it must sound incredible.
Yeah,
Proper. This is quite an interesting little approach angle here as well, and there's mud sitting in the bottom, so the guys are trying to find a way to navigate this, and this is so tricky. I mean, I can't see any traction on those wheels anymore. That clay just hangs onto the tread.
Had quite some difficulty to get out there, and that is for being clay on his tires. You couldn't find some grip there.
Yes, I know. All he wanted to do is find a piece of tar and take that to 100 k's now and send it flying. But I mean, what happens in a case like this now? Because you've also set this obstacle up that it's very difficult to go around the clay because there's no space there. He's going to obviously try that approach now, but straight back into it he goes.
On the end of the day, you must sacrifice one of the pegs. Take 20 points, and then you can get out. If you're greedy and you don't want to sacrifice, on the end of the day you're going to get zero.
Okay, so that's interesting, because I mean, so you actually as a driver would go through that. You'd look at this and go, would you try it once, it doesn't work, then you go to plan B?
Yes, then you must sacrifice some points and decide you're going to take out a banner or something to make it more possible, and if that doesn't work, well then you're good with a zero.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, you could rename this challenge, because he spent enough time in here. Can you choose to then skip it and reverse out? Or
yes,
none of the guys ever do that?
No, if you see you cannot make it and you basically give up, then you can just say, sorry, I'm out and I'm leaving.
Jeez, like I'm just having a look at this. What is it? A rollover angle on one of the old discos? Because it looks like we're getting pretty close to that.
I tell you what, I think Johannes sits on the edge here. And he did very well by keeping this together. Only thing is, if it starts to go, then you must leave.
Well, I know the fans loved it, but I can tell you the biggest sigh of relief was inside that car from Hannes. Him and his Discovery living to take on another challenge. He's like, looking at it from that angle, did he just come in a little bit too high?
Yes, he lost the line when he came up. He was not right.
Headers may have loved it, but I can tell you now the biggest sigh of relief was from inside that Discovery from Hannes, who lives to tell another story.
What do you think about this time trial? You had a look?
It's very wet,
Is it?
so I think it's going to be very, very slippery. But let's give it a go. I think it will get better once you've got a spoor.
Yeah.
So later in the day, I think the oak should do better. But now the big trick here will be keep the line.
Yeah. But you're going first. Do you have a plan?
I always got a plan. Pedal to the metal.
Nice. Thank you.
Oh, Carl, looks like you're super excited for this. I mean, this is fun and games at the end of the day. It's a time trial. You can worry less about your skills and more about your ability to go as fast as possible.
Yeah, it's a time trial. Unfortunately, it is very, very slippery there. And I think I lost the course. I was too excited.
But that's the thing. It looks like grass, but you don't realize under surface it's just clay and you're just going to go and slide. But how's that ending? Wow. This is so cool. So this is how you wrap up the event at the end of the day. And it's, I suppose, a great way for the competitors to let off some steam.
Yeah, I see how Andres let out more than steam. He's very little air in that back tire of his.
Yeah, but I obviously not on purpose. We're having a look at this thing. Well, where did he maybe rolled it off the rim? But it looked like he left the line like that, and that's going to make it really difficult for him to maneuver through the course. Can we blame you for that? Because a lot of guys I've noticed, they seem to all now want to go and miss that obstacle. Is that because someone cut a new line?
I think everybody uses a spoor that's there now, and they don't realize that the spoor is not right.
It's really cool for me though to see this. You know, we've been spending the whole day watching these cars climbing insane things and the maneuverability, incredible. But you don't expect to see this horsepower displayed in a speed and time trial. But there's also some risk involved because the cars aren't set up to change direction at speed.
Yeah, you know, all these cars are set up for maximum articulation. So if you do want to use speed, it must be a short period or a short distance. And then you must break the speed again because, you know, also for safety factors.
Yeah.
We rather prefer to keep the speed down.
No, because I imagine at the end of the day, your sensation of sitting in vehicles like this, when you've been managing through these little amphitheaters of challenge, you get into this open little environment, and that's the first thing you want to do is foot flat and let's go. But it must be a big favourite with the competitors and the fans alike, because it's something different.
Oh yes, you definitely want to hit that pedal and hear that V8 roar because it's nice.
You
can
course.
feel that power, you can hear that power, and that's what you want.
But it's really cool because you can actually see for a lot of the cars how difficult it is to get them turned as well, because I mean they don't have great turning circle on a lot of the modified vehicles, and that articulation, watching how they're challenging. Look at the body roll on that. I mean, that ain't going to be a great car to go cruising along the highway in or taking on your time trial, but it's obviously flippin' brilliant when it's got to climb out of a cliff.
Yeah, no, that's a fact. You know, it's ideal setup for challenges.
The production cars, standard, must have done pretty well in this. Were they the guys who were running at the front?
If you give them a little bit more space, then they do better times than the B class or so. But then again, some of the top trucks are also well set up. They can do speed,
And they've got the four-wheel steering. So
and they've got four-wheel steering. But then again, if you travel at speed and you think you're gonna control it with four-wheel steering, you must be a quick thinker.
So what would, if you had a pick, what would you go in here? Would you go in one of the buggies, the rear-wheel drives?
No, I prefer my car.
Yeah, but that's you. But I mean, the buggies look like that'd be a lot of fun. Is this one of our top trucks again? Yes, this is. How's he gone? We saw his first outing from Cape Town. Has he enjoyed his time?
I think Christa did very well today. You know, he still have to learn that vehicle. There's a lot of new
Like
facilities
subtleties, yeah.
that he can use that he's not used to. So for him, it's also a big thing. And then again, his drive shaft came out.
Oh, my
it
word.
came out early in the day as well. You know, there's a little bit of fine tuning that needs to be done there. But it's small things. You know, he will get it sorted.
Well, there's no better way to figure out these things than to actually put the car through maximum load, maximum work, maximum
No,
job.
you have to put it through its paces to get it to work properly.
It's not a showroom, is it? But I just love looking at that body roll. Some of the guys going for the lower line through the berm. For me, running as high as possible would obviously always be on this line. But I suppose you also run the risk of rolling over the top of it. So some guys going for the safe option.
You can see that it's very slippery.
Yeah. And it's just going to get worse because as the guys are running that spurt, they followed you. You know, you now start pulling up the grass and you just left for the mud.
Guys, they also pumped their tires up a bit before the time trial.
Yeah.
It's better here for harder tires.
Well, I think with the direction change, the risk of rolling off of the rim is obviously so much greater. Nice little exit out of that. Very, very cool. And Carl, I love to be doing the driving, but I'm totally out of my depth when I look at all these obstacles. So this is the only place that I would feel comfortable. But as a passenger, I would also be happy sitting next to you, taking me through this. But through those articulations, No. I'd rather be watching safely from the sideline.
Would you like to be in a car with closed up windows or doors, or would you like to get some mud on the side?
No mud on your face, but if you're going to do this, you've got to taste it, you've got to feel it, you've got to experience it. I think that for me is what makes this so super cool. Carl, while we see our competitors having lots of fun wrapping up the day, it's a nice time to ask you to reflect back on the day and how you felt it went.
Yeah, Marius, I think it was an awesome day. Everybody had a lot of fun. The spectators had a lot of action. So, I think it was a huge success. And I would just like to thank all the sponsors again for being part of this, making all the sponsors possible. If the people doesn't come on board, this won't be possible.
No. But I imagine for you, it's also a proud dad moment. We have a look at your daughter, Elle-Marie, who was pushing you hard in the top trucks. Just turned 21 as well.
Yeah, she gives me a run for my money. I must really look in my rearview mirror all the time because she's right on my back. Eh?
Well, you won't see anything. It's covered in mud.
Lots and lots of fun.
Well, that wraps up this year's Clinicair Wings and Wheels. What a superb event, and so fantastic to have all the spectators back. Challenging conditions, but all of those people with muds on their faces left with massive smiles. Time to see who our big winners were at this year's event, starting with our two-wheel drive D-Class. In third place, Barry Gradwell, and then it was a battle of the Besaid notes. Dad Sean still with the bragging rights at the dinner table, winning with the score of 482, just 20 points better than his son Bradley Besaidnote. Heading on to the C1 class, those are the vehicles with the shorter wheelbase. In third place, Slade van der Mescht. Cindy Warrington in second, just 20 points better than Slade. And the winner with a nice healthy gap there, Shane Meager, 478 points. Well done. Heading into our C2 class for the long wheelbase production vehicles. In third place, Walter Frost. Second position went to Carl Duplessis. And then in a class of his own today, well done to Johan Opperman. Heading into our B class category, that of course being the modified vehicles with no diff locks. Well done to Rick Beasley in third place. Freddie Besaidnote wrapping up the second position. And our winner, very, very close, 19 points in it. Well done, Bram van Leuven. Heading into our A-class category now, the vehicles with extra diff locks that have been added. In third position, Johan Maritz with 319 points. Also, super close, Cornel Molle in second with 333 points. And then with a nice little gap up at the top, the champion, Etienne Jacobs. Heading into our modified class, these crazy vehicles that are running with no diff locks and certainly getting the spectators fired up. In third position, Antoni Swart, followed by Marilee Spannenberg, and the winner of the modified class, well done, Jacques Eigelaar. And then we head to the big boys, our top trucks. And in third position, Andries Niemand with 304 points. And then keeping it in the family, the Spannenbergs, Elle-Marie keeping her dad honest, wrapping up second position with 363 points. And Carl, our winner, with 450 points. Well done.